Today we will review an anonymous Gothic romance, for which there is no suggested author at all, the 1800 Die Todtengruft im Geisterschlosse oder Emerichs Erlösung, Eine Geistergeschichte aus den Zeiten Belas IV. Taking place in 13th century Hungary during the reign of Bela IV, it concerns Bator Lajos and his love for Maria, daughter of the Count of Harpad, who prefers the richer suit of his daughter, the Count of Sadvar, even after Bator Lajos saves him and his daughter from certain death at the hands of Tartars. Attempting to prove himself, Bator Lajos is captured by Tartars, who enslave him and send him to dig up treasure in a haunted castle, one where he finds a dead man named Emerich, who gives him a magic ring and accompanies him to Siberia to defeat the Tartar Khan in combat, and thus end the horrid scourge of the Tartar invasion of Hungary. His journey through Poland and Russia is then skipped over, which is a bit of a shame, and explains why the novel is so uncharacteristically short for a Gothic romance. Disguised as Tartars, Bator Lajos becomes a companion to the supreme Khan Ugadai, but it turns out it's his evil brother Zagatai he must fight, and that Zagatai had Maria kidnapped and taken into his seraglio. What are the odds? Using the ring for about the second time ever, Bator Lajos becomes invisible and visits Maria, but is discovered by Zagatai's sorcerers. Zagatai then orders both him and Maria, all the Hungarian captives and all the chieftains who opposed him burned alive. At this time, Emerich appears in front of Zagatai's sorcerers, banning them from going to give their blessing to Zagatai's sentence, and making them destroy their magical accoutrements with their own hands. Freeing the bound Tartar chieftains, Emerich seeks them at Zagatai, and tells them to pick Bator Lajos as their champion. The two fight very briefly, given how important this event is meant to be, and Bator Lajos cuts him down. Oddly enough, Ugadai is never shown to be mad at him for murdering his brother, and he can just go. Along the way back to Hungary, Bator Lajos and Emerich see many Tartars returning to their homeland, under the impression that Ugadai died, and wishing to go fight for the supreme rulership of Tartaria, this misunderstanding being what ended up freeing Hungary from the Tatar invasion. When arriving at Pest at King Bela's coronation, the Count of Harpad is very unappreciative of Bator Lajos bringing him back his daughter, and blames him for her disappearance in the first place. Meanwhile, he praises the Count of Sadvar for his failed attempt to get the German princess to do something. But then King Bela personally honors Bator Lajos with a knighthood, and he promises to reveal his own part in saving Hungary in 30 days. But the time is up and Emerich, his only witness, is nowhere to be seen, and he is about to kill himself, which is what Emerich was waiting for. He does show up and tells the assembled party of Bator Lajos' deeds, and also turns out to be Ugolino, the Count of Harpad's brother, who murdered the Count's first wife. The Count Harpad is also really Count Druget of Homona, who changed his name after his father-in-law persecuted him and swore to wipe the name Homona from the earth. But just changing it seems to have worked too for some reason. But just as Maria and Bator Lajos are to be married, Maria disappears, and everyone knows it was the Count of Sadvar. Trying to find the Count, Bator Lajos is abducted in Austria to Rauhenstein Castle, just as Maria, who is also there, sees him and makes her escape. A Hungarian servant there was convinced by Maria to help her escape. Providing her with a horse and armor, she goes to Gumpoldskirchen and seeks the aid of 3 famous brother knights, Gumpold, Guntram and Berchtold. Sneaking with them back into Rauhenstein for a secret passage, Maria frees her beloved and the whole castle is taken over, the Count running off in the confusion. Along the way, Maria tells them how the Count had disguised himself and took part in the rebuilding of the Homona castle, which had been destroyed by Tatars, and abducted her in a bag. Just then, Maria saves Bator Lajos by running the Count of Sadvar through with a sword when he tries to ambush them, and they get married for real this time. Note the segment about Maria's kidnapping seems far longer than the time Bator Lajos spent travelling to Siberia and back, or his time at the titular haunted castle, so the interest wavers a bit, but it is still fun.